Welcome to the 2021 virtual induction of our Marauder Athletic Hall of Fame. We are honored to be joined by 2021 Hall of Fame Marauder Athletic inductee, Beverley Grant of the great track and field teams of the Central State 1990s. Beverley, thanks for joining us today. And as we continue to honor our 6 individual inductees throughout the day virtually, we can't wait to bring folks back on campus for a more formal in-person induction later in the spring. But for right now, we're so honored to officially welcome Beverley Grant into the Marauder Athletic Hall of Fame. And Beverley, once again, thanks for joining us virtually, of course. Just tell us when you first received the news that you would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, what were the emotions? What went through your mind?
First, I want to say thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here to represent Central State University on this high level. Your question, when I first got the news, when you called me, I mean, I was at work, which was kind of like, wow, mind blowing. And when I received the news, it still leave me like, wow, did they get my name right? Did they say Beverley? And then I was just like sweating, palms were sweating, my heart was racing. I put the phone down and I take a deep breath like, wow. And the first person I called was my son. And I said, you would not believe this. I get off the phone with Central State, Nick, and they have me inducted in the Hall of Fame. And he was like, Mom, that's great. So again, it was a butterfly flowing moment in my stomach, which, it was good. It was good. It was a good moment for me.
And we talk about all the experiences and moments as a Marauder athlete, and your resume speaks for itself, an incredible resume, and we'll get to that a little later. But let's rewind a little bit, talk about your background, sort of where you came from, and ultimately, what was the decision why you decided to attend Central State University?
Okay, good question. I was born and raised in Jamaica. Running track ever since I was small as I can remember. I used to run here, never walked. And I used to admire Merlin Oddie. Of course, my Jamaican girl was like, they make it look so easy. I said, one day I'm going to be at the stadium running. It's kind of thing when they said the tongue is a great thing. Be careful what you use it for. So at a tender age, I was at the stadium running. And I was like, wow, I can't believe it. But I was in Jamaica. I represent my high school. I went to Manchester High School in Jamaica. And I also, after finishing high school, I went to G.C. Foster College. And then while I was there, things throw a curveball, of course. I got pregnant and I have my baby, but hey, he's a blessing. And so for me, I was working at Alkin, which is a big company in Jamaica, running for Alkin and also training to represent Jamaica. So I used to see the World Games, the Olympics. I was like, wow, I'm going to be there. So my high school manager, Mr. Fuller, he was like, Beverley, the World Games coming on. And before that, we have the World Indoor in Toronto, Canada, 1993. I said, So every day I go to practice and I train hard. I train like twice a day just to see myself on that plane going to Toronto. Every day I could smell it closer and closer. And when the trial came, of course, we have to go to the trial. And we went there because we don't have like snow home. So our weather is nice. So we train outside, which is a plus for us. So I trained. And when I went for the trials to make the World Indoor, I made it. So that was my first big meet for Jamaica, the World Indoor, 1993 in Toronto, Canada. And outdoor, which coming in August, of course, it was in Stuttgart, the World Outdoor. And I said, that one felt good. So I might just have to take myself there. I'm a small little fish against those big sharks like Merlin and, Michelle Freeman and, the likes of Jamaican pool of athletes, which I admire since I was a kid. And to get the honor to be there, oh my God, it was mind blowing. So we went to Stuttgart and it take off from there. While I was in Stuttgart, my manager in Jamaica, he called me and said, I got a call from Josh Colbert from Central State. I said, for what? I didn't know nothing about Central State or where it was. And I was like, you got a scholarship? I said, I'm just coming from the World Games. I have no time to prep. I don't have. He said, Beverly, you have time. First, we're going to go get your passport, get your visa, and then you can travel. So while I was there, I was looking, where is Ohio? Where is Ohio? And I was like, never mind. I'll know when I get there. So when I get off the plane, it was summer. It was really nice. So it was a big jump from the World Indoor in Canada, which was -degree, ice and snow, and to come here in summertime, which was great. My first experience with the snow was in Canada. So when I did welcome it in Ohio, I was like, I'm going to be here for 4 years in this. But again, it was a bittersweet for me. Bittersweet knowing that I can get to represent a college, and do honor to them. Also, at the same time, represent Jamaica. But the sour part of it was, I would say bitter part, was leaving my dear beloved son, as a baby. So I was like, wow, how am I going to do this? But again, it was great. And I get there, I was amongst my fellow Jamaicans, fellow athletes that was from different country. And as you know, Central State is like a melting pot. We have Africans, we have Americans, we have Russians, the ROTC, it's so combined with everyone. So they make you feel so loved, like, okay, even though I'm away from home and I get to experience another weather, which was snow that we never have in Jamaica. So again, for me, it was great news when I got that to come to Central State.
And of course, once you got here, I mean, you talk about a women's track team. Wow, seven team national titles and
yes,
just world-class athletes. And we talk about all the other sports too at that time. Football is winning, women's and men's basketball, right? But it was really this women's track team that did the most winning, 7 national titles. And of course, you're a huge part of that. The team actually visited the White House, unbelievable. And
yes.
And so talk about world-class. You mentioned a little bit before, world-class athletes coming from everywhere to Central State and dominating and making a name for themselves in the track world. Just give us a taste of what it was like in practice every day.
Wow, they were like jokesters. Oh my God, the guys they would clown. You have we call him Mona. You have Floyd, and you have the likes of Neil De Silva from Trinidad, and it's a mixture of so many different accents. The Trinidadian, the Jamaican, the St. Kitts. We have another guy, Ayu, really tall. He's from Africa. Nice. So everybody, when you just hear them talking and they're like, it sounds like we're all speaking French because the language is so mixed up. And yes, and at practice, oh my God, it was rough because we always want to out-train each other. If this one run a 10 flat, the other one said, 10 flat, I can do 9. So, we push ourselves to be, more competitive or, okay, if you can do it, I can do it. I can even do better. So training was fun. Josh and Jahan, man, they will tear us apart. They will take us down to our very skinnies at practice. Because if you're not going up or walking off the field, you have not done yourself justice at practice. And it was so funny because when we used to practice, the football players would be on the other side. Josh, bless his soul today, he's resting in peace. He would use his blowhorn. And I'm running at 200 because he would give us like 10 200s. And he would like blow the horn. Come on, Beverly, hard, fast, and relax. I said, Coach, I can't do all 3. Which one do you need? You want me to go faster? Then I can't do it with relax. Relax, I'm gonna jog. So it would be funny because we tease each other with little, stuff like, don't insult your dear beloved coach. That was his word. So we always mock each other. And it was great. As I say, practice was a belly full of comedians, if you know what I'm saying. It's like you had the comedy club because everyone want to outdo each other with a joke. So it was great.
You talk about Coach Culbreth, recently passed away, but one of the favorite sayings, hard, fast, and relaxed. And obviously you were able to master that a little bit. 15-time NAIA All-American, 15 times. That's hard to do, right? Just an incredible accomplishment. and eventually going on to win gold in the World Championships. And, you know, one of the many medalists that we've had here at Central State. Of all these accomplishments, what are you most proud of?
Wow. When it comes to track and field at Central State, I think if I have to pick a moment at Central State is when I think it was 4.5, I say 4.5 of us ladies that went to outdoor national, and all the other teams, they have like a whole bunch, because some of our athletes, they were sick, they were injured, so they couldn't participate. So we used 4.5 of us and we won nationals. So it was a big thing to say, wow, we can do it 4.5, because when we say half, we have a teammate that we have to band her ankle up because she was basically hopping. I said, we don't care if it falls off. Come on, let's do this. And we went out there, and, you know, I was proud of the girls to know that we did it with that least amount of athletes. And, you know, we get great achievement, not only from the community, but also the college family. And of course, we were publishing Jet magazine. So, you know, it's a great, and when we go out, it's like everybody was like, wow, Central State is here, man, you know, they're killers. So sometimes when you hear that, you feel, you know, things dancing in the behind of your ears to say, wow, you know, don't underestimate us, because we might be small, but we come hard. So that was one moment in track and field that I can say I was so proud of my girls to be a part of that team. Yes. We keep back.
And every time I talk to a member of these great teams, you know, I get the sense of, you know, very mild mannered until we start talking about track. And I see the fire come out, and I see as we're talking, I see the fire in the competition. And of course, one of your teammates, Carolyn Sterling, who's on our campus, when we start talking track, the competitor comes out, and that's exactly, I could only imagine what it was like back then, you know, on the track. For some of our younger athletes, even some current athletes at Central State, the dream, of course, is to compete professionally, which you did on the highest level. But let's talk about life after that, right? Because life doesn't end, you know, once your track career is over. Tell us about your journey, life, you know, and your life after track.
Wow, after track is it's amazing, because I would run into teammates of mine, and even Jahan. I run into Jahan because my son he got a track scholarship to the Ohio State University. So I met him there, and he was like, Beverley, you look like you're still competing. I said, I have to do the sports justice. I can't just fall off the map. But for me, I'm very competitive right now. Even though I've been retired from the sports for years, I worked out 5 days a week. I do running, and where I'm in Miami right now. So I will walk across the street. I'm on the beach. So I do beach sand running, and I would run like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm up road running. So I still have the physique of an athlete, like I'm competing. So for me, it's great, because I keep that. But once an athlete, it's hard to detour from that standard. And then, of course, you know, after competing, you know, you have to figure like, okay, what I do, I have to hang up my spikes. And it's hard to hang up a spikes, but you have to tell yourself, okay, you know, it's not the body. You look at it like when you pass 35, you know, for a sprinter, you know, it's so hard on your body. It wears you down. So after 30, the furthest a sprinter can take it professionally, I would say, you're pushing it at 35, because the amount of pounding that your body takes all the time. Being a long distance runner, you can run until you're 60, because it's more endurance than speed. So that's the difference between a marathon runner and a sprinter. Because, you know, as I said, if I was a marathon runner, I could be running right now. So, you know, hence the speed. But I was in catering. I was married, I got divorced, I was in catering. So I had my own business when I was in Ohio. And after that, I went into the health field. So I'm certified licensed in the nursing field. And now I moved to Florida here. I'm still doing the same work. I'm a caring person, so we have to give back to the elderly. and still running and working out and, you know, trying to achieve things on the real estate side. So that's another side I want to get myself into since it's widely spread here in Miami. So that's my another thing on my list.
Beautiful Miami, Florida. Nothing wrong with that. Good place to be. Well, talking about you officially becoming a member of the Hall of Fame. I mean, it is official as of today. And of course, we'll celebrate in person, you know, in another few months. But Beverley Grant is a Hall of Fame member, you know, and you're a model for our current and future student athletes. Tell us, as a Hall of Fame member, what does it mean to be a Marauder?
Oh my gosh, to be a Marauder. Sweat. I'm going to emphasize sweat. It doesn't matter what sports you do. To be a Marauder, it's an honor. Just, you know, it's like you get into a fraternity. People get into a fraternity to wear the colors and to step. That's what they look for. But it's so deeper than community service. You know, what you can give back as you reach the pinnacle of your life. But to be a Marauder, oh my God, it's like, number one, once you put that clothes on, you're representing the college. So you have to set that standard of holding that flag as a Marauder. And I mean, no matter where we go, I mean, discipline, action, how you speak, how you act, it all comes under that umbrella. Like, we have to choose what we say, you know, because then it reflects back to the university. So to my fellow Marauders who, whether they're in track and field, football, volleyball, netball, the band, cheerleading, it's a thing they have to make sure it's not about them when they step out there. It's about the university. So every time you go out there, as we used to do, we have to represent, because sometimes we go to places and we have people come up to us and say, where is Central State? And they ask us questions and it was like, wow. So first is knowledge. You have to know about your college and you have to represent it in a way where it's above the highest standard. And that's what the color is. It's above the highest standard. And, you know, I hope I have done it proudly.
Oh, yes. And you know, even after you graduate, the pride that our alumni carry on, whether you're, you know, a graduate from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. I even still have some folks that call me that graduated from the 50s that carry that torch with pride. And it's just exciting to see wherever we go, you're wearing that Marauder gold. Someone's going to comment and someone's going to pull you aside, which is excellent. As we talk about all these great memories, accomplishments, and reflect, you're a Hall of Famer. And this is officially sort of the first day of you being in our Hall of Fame. And I know you have some acknowledgments and some folks that you want to mention. So the stage is yours to tell us sort of who you want to recognize and who you want to thank.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Jock Thomas for allowing this occasion to happen, regardless, you know, despite of the COVID that we're going through now. I have to thank his staff. I want to thank the athletic department. You also, Nick, for making this possible for us to view and interview and let everyone see us, even though not in person, but I appreciate that. First and foremost, I want to thank our Heavenly Father. Without him, of course, I wouldn't be looking at you today. So it's a good thing. And I'm blessed to know that I'm standing here giving this speech. I want to thank my coaches that had trained me so hard until I passed out. I want to thank my teammates who are there, you know, flushing my legs. We flush each other's legs. We run and give each other water. We hold each other up when we're passing out. I want to thank my teammates. And even now that I'm not in track and field, we still call and support each other in whatever life journey that it takes. The loss of a family member, we grieve together. The birth of a child, we rejoice together. It doesn't matter what it is, we still share that bond. Secondly, I want to thank my dear friend Floyd. He's like a guiding angel for me because in college, he would take us everywhere we want to go. He looked out for us girls. And even as I depart from track and field, I know nothing about cars. So I would call him and say, hey, what's wrong with my car? There's this little logo on there. I take a picture, send it to him. He said, Beverly, that's the pressure in your tire. It needs air. I was like, oh, that's what it is. So I'm clueless. And he is the genius on that part. If anyone knows Floyd Howell, he is a guiding angel. He's an honest person. He's my dear beloved heart. I love it. Thirdly, I want to thank my son. He might be able to see this one day. I'm going to tell his age. That's okay. He's 29 and he's in Texas. And he's also, you know, a very, very good athlete. I want to thank him dearly for sharing me all those years with Central State University. I left him when not left, but I was away from him due to track and field when he was a baby. And I just thank him so much for understanding as he now a grown, responsible, young, handsome gentleman. So I appreciate that from him. And, you know, I just want to thank each and every one there, you know, whether past, the ones who know me. I just want to thank them for, you know, supporting me over the years and guiding me, be that light that guide me, because we need that person. We need that bumper person to bump us up. So again, family and friends, I want to thank them. And again, Central State Marauders, they're the best. I know that. That's where my journey started and that's where it ends. But it didn't end there because I travel and still represent everybody that I run into. Like, you went to Central State, or you're that track girl. I said, yeah, the name is Beverley. So they might not know the name, but they said, you used to run track for Central. I said, yes. So I'm glad that they can, you know, they can put me to track and field and know like, oh, that was the party girl. No, that was the girl that represented Central State in the most highest level. And, you know, so with that, yes, I just want to thank everyone who stayed in my corner and support me over all these years.
Well, and just to clarify, the name is Beverley Grant, Central State Track and Field, and now officially Central State Athletic Marauder Hall of Fame member. Beverley Grant, remember the name. All right, she is in the record books, of course, 15-time NAIA All-American, world champion, and now Marauder Athletic Hall of Fame member. Beverley, congratulations. Of course, we cannot wait to recognize you in person when it's safe to do so. But I did want to show you our commemorative plaque, which we can't wait to give you in person and present you officially in person, of course, virtually right now. But we will recognize once again in person later on in the spring, and we can't wait to do so. So once again, Beverley Grant, one of 6 individual inductees to go into the 2021 Hall of Fame. We thank everyone for joining us today on this virtual celebration of Beverley and the induction of the 2021 Hall of Fame class. For more information on Marauder Athletics, go ahead and visit maraudersports.com. Thanks for joining us, everyone.